Welcome to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College in Middletown. I'm Steve Minkler, the college CEO. Putting together a high-quality, live stream video production is a huge team effort. Everyone has an important job to do, whether that's setting up lights, mixing sound, creating graphics, running cameras, directing or editing. I'm standing in the TV control room of the college's Center for New Media, and behind me, and actually all around me, are students in Professor Rich Lenosi's Studio Television Production course. They're a very important part of the Middlesex Moments production team this week. And let me tell you, these guys are at the top of their game. So thanks, everybody. Later in today's show, I'm going to be joined by a panel of guests to talk about the amazing career opportunities in the field of manufacturing. But first up, our news segment, which is called In the Loop. Time for a few short stories highlighting some of the many great things happening at your community college. An old TV commercial went something like this: "I'm not only the president, but I'm also a client." Well, for me that's true when it comes to my eyeglasses. Did you know that Middlesex Community College has an eyeglass clinic run by professors and students in our opticianry program? Whether you need a new pair of glasses or contact lenses, the eyeglass clinic in Chapman Hall lower level on our main campus is now open. To keep patients safe, please email Professor Brian Go to make an appointment. His email address is bgoh@mxcc.edu. The clinic's hours are Tuesdays 9:30 to 2 and Wednesdays 9:30 to 3. And Brian Go hopes to see you there. I mentioned earlier that students are an important part of this week's Middlesex Moments show. They're also hard at work creating their own original media content as part of the college's new Radio Podcast Club. The Middlesex Moments team went behind the scenes with club president Patrick Boots and advisor Professor John Schaefer.
We revived the Radio Podcast Club here at Middlesex because I thought that there could be a need because Middlesex didn't already have a college radio station.
Ultimately, the club is very interested in producing radio-type programming for both radio as well as for podcasting.
We'd really like the club to turn into a traditional college radio station and new media exploration center for learning and creation.
Well, I joined this club because I'm really interested in this kind of stuff. I've always listened to podcasts, and I just like learning about stuff and doing this kind of thing.
Right now, I believe it's maybe the largest club on campus and one of the most active clubs. I think that's a credit to the students and mostly our president, Patrick, who is really kind of promoted and pushed the club. The fact that we have a large number of members, but also that they're very active. We've partnered with the local radio station through Steve Minkler. They set up an actual podcasting service.
The Mxcc Radio Podcast Club subscribes to a platform called Simplecast, which distributes our podcasts through all the popular platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and Stitcher, and anywhere else using an RSS link. As an organization, we can use the HD Radio Podcast Studio, the Pro Tools suite, and microphones that are more expensive than I could even imagine to make our content.
It's been cool. I've learned a couple new things that I didn't know about radio and podcasting and stuff like that, and I'm excited to do some of the things we're talking about in the future.
Okay, does all of you came forward? Microphone up, cue talent. We'll be using student-produced content in future episodes of Middlesex Moments. Stay tuned each week to hear more. All Connecticut Reads is a program of the Connecticut State Library designed to promote lifelong reading, learning, and connections. The Middlesex Community College Book Club is following Connecticut Reads this month in its discussion of One of the Good Ones, a novel by authors and sisters Malika and Maritza Millay. In the book, teen activist Keza Smith is killed under mysterious circumstances after attending a social justice rally. Her family are left reeling in the aftermath. As Kezi becomes another victim in the fight against police brutality, her family questions the idealized way their sister is remembered, perfect and angelic. One of the Good Ones, the next Mxcc Book Club discussion, which is Wednesday, March 23rd at 12:30 p.m. in the Learning Commons in Chapman Hall on the college's main campus in Middletown. Finally, save this date, Saturday, May 21st at 9 a.m., and join us for Middlesex Community College Foundation's annual fundraising road race. Grad Dash has 2 courses, a 5K and a 10K, which follow the beautiful tree-lined roads behind our campus. You can run or you can walk, which means even I can participate. Proceeds from Grad Dash go to support the Foundation's scholarship program, which awards nearly $100,000 each year to Middlesex students. To register, visit mxcc.edu/run. Now, you're in the loop with what's happening at Middlesex Community College, the only public college or university located in Middlesex County. After a short break, we'll learn more about the many career opportunities in the field of manufacturing. This is Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College.
In times of uncertainty when everything changes, take control of your future at Middlesex Community College. Take courses to transfer or start a new degree. Middlesex is determined to help you succeed. Worried about paying? Save thousands on tuition over university costs, and flexible payment options are available. Take control of your future at Middlesex Community College, the way forward. Register now at mxcc.edu.
Your future begins here. At Middlesex Community College, you will find affordable, quality education to land the career of your choice. With over 70 options, make the decision to start now. Visit mxcc.edu to get started today.
Welcome back to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, the college CEO. Manufacturing, it's defined as the process behind all of the products that we buy and use. So did you know that in Connecticut there are over 4,000 manufacturing companies? Some of them have been operating as family-owned businesses for several generations, and others are larger multinational corporations. And did you know that these 4,000 companies employ over 160,000 people? These are people who have good-paying jobs, benefits, and career ladders that provide advancement and growth throughout their entire working lives. Well, today on Middlesex Moments, I'm glad to welcome a panel of experts who will be talking about the amazing opportunities in manufacturing and what we're doing to connect schools, employers, students, and people looking for great jobs. So why don't I have each of my guests introduce themselves a little bit, tell us about the work you're doing. I'll start with you, Tracy.
All right, thank you. Happy to be here, thank you. My name is Tracy Ariel. I'm the director of the manufacturing programs here at Middlesex Community College and Manchester Community Colleges. My career in manufacturing has spanned 30 years. I started at Milton Bradley Toy Company when I was just a youth, and have worked in production, small companies like you mentioned, small family-owned companies, and the larger companies as well. And then I ended up here.
All right, I'm glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And Jeff.
Good morning, I'm Jeff Puglise. I'm Vice President with the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce. We're a county chamber, of course. We're the largest freestanding chamber of commerce in the state of Connecticut, obviously focused on supporting the Middlesex County business community in every way that we possibly can, also focused on being a community organization. And as a large-scale business organization, we understand the importance of manufacturing and want to do whatever we can to support that critical industry moving forward. So happy to be with you this morning.
Thanks, Jeff. And then Asi.
Good morning, thanks for having me. My name is Asi Carmeli. I'm the head of HR for Hobson Motzer. Hobson Motzer is a manufacturer of high precision, high volume metal parts, mainly for medical devices, but we produce parts for various other industries, aerospace, automotive, and consumer products, to name few. We are a family-owned business, second generation on this iteration, fourth generation in total. We're celebrating our 110th anniversary this year, and we're very proud to be Connecticut-based only, and to be very successful. I have to, dispute on one thing. We don't have jobs, we have careers at Hobson Motzer, and we're happy to discuss that and the wonderful careers there are there in manufacturing.
All right, thanks, Asi.
Sure.
And thanks for being here. So the college, the chamber, and the manufacturing companies are all partners in something called the South Central Manufacturing Industry Regional Sector Partnership. And Jeff, as VP of the chamber, how did this partnership come together?
Well, Steve, this came out of something called the Governor's Workforce Council, and they charged leaders throughout the state in the public sector and the private sector with identifying key industry sectors in each region of the state and figuring out comprehensive strategies on how to support those sectors and make sure we retain as many companies as we can, grow and build as many companies as we can, and make sure we really support our job creators and our job retainers as best we can. So we developed something called the South Central Regional Sector Partnership, as you mentioned. We identified manufacturing as the key industry sector in our 30-town area. And the 30 towns include 15 towns of Middlesex County and 15 towns in the greater New Haven area. And it also mirrors the service area of Workforce Alliance, which is the South Central Workforce Investment Board, therefore the South Central title for the Regional Sector Partnership. So we're very excited about this. We're a convener as the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce, as is the Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce, the two lead business organizations within that service area. We're thrilled to have Middlesex Community College on as a key stakeholder and a key partner, and obviously Workforce Alliance, to really bring in the workforce development angle, to be that bridge between the job seekers and employers. So those four regional stakeholders make up the leadership and the convening team, essentially, of the South Central Manufacturing Industry Partnership.
And it sounds like an awful lot of people that are involved in this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're very fortunate to have a great industry-led partnership. So we have 4 outstanding co-chairs. My friend Asi to my left here is one of them. Chris Ulbrich from Ulbrich Steel is another one, another outstanding Connecticut company. We have Chris Demuth, who's president and CEO of Roto Frank of America down in Chester, and Marcia LaFemina of Penn Globe down in the Brantford area, North Brantford area. So it's really important for this sector partnership to be industry-led. We want to make sure as the convening team that we're on the implementation side and that we take the leadership provided by the industry folks and we do the kind of the on-the-ground logistical work to make sure we support this industry as best we can, because it's so critical moving forward.
Absolutely. And it sounds like just having all these people together in these meetings is really putting the pieces together instead of talking the talk. Well, let's put it all together and make it work. And I know the partnership has identified 3 key areas of focus for its work. And the first one is really in the area of HR and resource talent development. And Asi, as an HR director for Hobson Motzer, what are some of the critical key skills that you're looking for in someone who's interested in starting a career in manufacturing?
So as you mentioned before, there's 4,000 companies or manufacturing companies in Connecticut, and I'm sure that if you have a sample of them, each one of them will say that they have a pain in a different area. But all in all, we're looking for good people, people that are working well with their coworkers. They're thinking about, they're always mindful for solutions, and there's various professions or various skills that are specific to each one of those manufacturers. What we found from what we've done in the last year or so almost is that the common need is for operators. So entry-level, people that can actually come and enter in each one of those organizations and develop and grow and develop a career in manufacturing. That's the highest need. Beyond that, you'll find special skills that are needed in various areas. In some cases, it will be in engineering. In some cases, it will be a machinist. In some cases, it will be a quality person. Those are all very important and are the pain areas for various manufacturers. But all in all, I would say is probably those machine operators, I then say laborers, they would be called in some other businesses. And again, when we talk about careers in manufacturing, the idea is to have talented people, whether they went to school or not, even straight from high school, enter into manufacturing and find themselves and have a career in manufacturing. Manufacturing of today is different than what it used to be. We have bad reputation, I'll call it. When people talk about manufacturing, they think about this dungeon, dark, cold in the winter or hot in the summer. But it's not true. The manufacturing of today is high-tech. It's really temperature control. The quality, the machinery, the robotics that involved with that requires you to be in a climate control area, just like the studio right here. It has to be that for the machines to do well. It has to be that for the the parts to be well. And if you come to visit us, as well as the probably 4,000 other manufacturers, you will see. If you go in the parking lot, people do well in manufacturing. They have good paying jobs. They have good benefits. They don't have that from going to school. And this is not to say that high education is not important. we do need high educated people. We do need well-trained people in many of the skills that we need. But if you get to manufacturing, and again, in many years, some manufacturing left the state and offshored work. I'm glad to say that over the last 10 years, especially during the pandemic, there's a central, more focus to onshore and bring those manufacturers back. The government's effort in putting more emphasis on manufacturing is because every job in manufacturing feed 4 other industries, adjacent industries, and it's a solid job. We actually make things. It's not a theoretical thing that we talk and happen in cyberspace. These are actually tangible things that have happened, and some of the work that we do, we're making a difference. Those are medical devices that help to save people's life. It's meaningful, and today you have people that want to do something that makes a difference. They actually want to get involved in doing that kind of work. It's a privilege. We're honored to do that and to do quality work that helps save people's lives.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that leads to the second area of focus, which is really promoting these kind of careers and what the meaning behind, like you said, just maybe you're saving somebody's life by getting into manufacturing. And so Tracy, as someone who's has worked both for a small company but also for colleges, you've seen the bridge between these two. And how can we better promote careers in manufacturing to young people who are looking for a really meaningful career, or maybe even people returning to a different type of job?
So I think it's about exposure. Really, students need to see early on that you're right, it's no longer a dark, dingy business, but it really is high-tech and industrial and changing every day, and that to get involved is to be a part of that change in the community, and globally for that matter. At Middlesex, we've come a long way with our manufacturing education programs, and in response to our community partners and our industry partners to make sure that we are teaching high tech. Our programs have responded to industry need, and we continue to respond to industry need. But again, it's all about exposure and bringing that back to having people come in and tour the facilities that you're working in. People should know in their neighborhoods what industry partners are there, and then the people in the community here that we can train people either in associate's degree programs or in short-term programs. We can train people to be successful in those careers.
Okay. And Jeff, one of the things Asi mentioned was, some of the businesses may have left Connecticut or this area because it's kind of a high-cost place to live and to work. And so the third area of focus was cost competitiveness. And what is that group doing as part of the South Central Partnership?
Well, that group is really focusing on what's best for the industry sector in Connecticut and how do we make that competitive here in Connecticut. That has a lot of different tentacles. Obviously, the legislature plays a big role in that. The legislative session is ongoing right now in the city of Hartford, our capital city. We have to make sure that we play a key role. We monitor all of the legislation, every proposal that is laid out in Hartford. How has that, or how will that impact the industry of manufacturing and impact individual companies? We have to make sure we monitor that, whether it's healthcare or transportation. Obviously, we're hopefully coming out of a global pandemic, and we're seeing some positive metrics and some positive signs in that regard. But we're hoping that the inflationary pressures start to come back down a little bit. So we obviously want to have a really comprehensive approach on this front. A lot of that has to do with transportation. A company like Asi's is not necessarily accessible through public transit. So we have to make sure we find ways to connect folks who are interested in manufacturing who might not have the ability to get to one of these high-performing facilities. We have to be that bridge, and that's really what we're focusing on the legislative side, the transportation side, and any other way we can make this industry and make the companies within the sector partnership more competitive moving forward. That's what that focus is.
Okay, great. And I'm sure you're hearing that not just from manufacturers, but
right.
Many of the other companies you work with in the chamber.
Absolutely, yeah. We serve every industry sector throughout Middlesex County and throughout the state, really. And it's all about how to make them more competitive moving forward, more lean moving forward. It's our job to retain as many of these companies as we can and also create new opportunities and really spark new job growth moving forward. And that's more of a comprehensive approach. But this effort is really focused on manufacturing.
Okay, great. Well, it's time for us to take a quick break. Okay. And when we come back, more about the exciting career opportunities in manufacturing and a special program that we're running here at Middlesex Community College. You're watching Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College.
Discover your potential at Middlesex Community College. Have these times of uncertainty found you unemployed or looking for a career change? Do you want to start a career as unique as you, but aren't sure how to get started? The time is now. Middlesex Community College offers affordable options for a high-quality education. Conveniently located in the cities of Middletown, Meriden, and online, your path is straightforward and easy. Middlesex Community College. Your college. Your future.
My classes at Middlesex Community College have been mostly online, though partially on campus. I've really enjoyed them. The teachers have been very accommodating to students. It's a safe place, it's a safe environment. They're making sure that everyone's wearing masks. It's been really nice to have the online experience as well as the on-ground experience. And chase your dreams, don't let the pandemic stop you from wanting to do what you want to do, whether it be filmmaking or anything else.
Action.
Welcome back to Middlesex Moments from Middlesex Community College. I'm Steve Minkler, the college CEO, and I'm joined by a panel of guest experts who are speaking about the exciting career opportunities in the field of manufacturing. Of Asi Carmeli, HR Director at Hobson Motzer in Durham, Jeff Puglise, Vice President of the Middlesex County Chamber of Commerce, and Tracy Ariel, who's the Program Director of Manufacturing here at Middlesex Community College in Manchester. And Tracy, the state's community colleges are committed to being a strong partner with the Chamber and with businesses to make these connections and to prepare people for great careers. And we're one of the providers of a program known as SkillUp. Talk about what the SkillUp for Manufacturing program is all about.
Right, so SkillUp is a program that is a short-term training program it was designed by industry to respond to immediate industry needs. It can be between a 5-week or 10-week manufacturing education program and different disciplines. The program right now in the state of Connecticut, there's a predicted, I'm going to say around 20,000 job openings that are coming up. And this was the community college's way to respond to the industry need that is upcoming. It is a partnership with the Workforce Investment Board, as well as the governor's office, to be able to, again, respond to the needs of our local industry. The program we just ran was a 7-week program in which we taught basic manufacturing, intro to manufacturing skills, machining skills, measurement skills, so that you can go into those entry-level operator positions that Asi has and his company and others. But we also, due to our industry demand in the area, we included a couple of weeks of plastic injection molding, because we do have quite a bit of plastic injection molding companies in Connecticut, and they also have a need for employees right now. And so the SkillUp program is a program intended to reach those immediate needs and not necessarily take higher education out of the conversation, but it's a pathway to the higher education opportunities.
Now, how much does the SkillUp program cost a student?
The SkillUp program costs nothing for a student. It is free for anyone that wants to attend. And we've had great industry response, so it's free to come to the program. And we've, in our last group that just graduated, it was 100% placement into industry.
That's
so
amazing.
We're talking, a quick training into a career. I wasn't going to say a job.
That's right.
It's a career. So, but yeah, and really, this program is being replicated throughout the state. But it is really going to be a cornerstone of what's happening here at Middlesex.
Great. Now, speaking of the last cohort who graduated from the SkillUp program, our Middlesex Moments crew attended that graduation, and they were able to file this report.
Middlesex Community College students are receiving a unique opportunity to learn manufacturing in a new program.
So the SkillUp program is a program designed to introduce people to skill sets required in manufacturing. They are introductory skill sets.
The SkillUp for Manufacturing program, a partnership between Mxcc and the Workforce Alliance, is held at Final Technical High School in Middletown.
We are currently building a manufacturing technology center in which we'll have machine technology as well as plastic injection molding. We're able to use the CNC machine shops and the conventional machine shops at Vinyl Tech.
Students gain necessary knowledge needed to catapult them into the manufacturing workforce.
SkillUp graduates are prepared because they have an upper hand going into a position with that basic skill level that other people don't when they first come in.
Congratulations and thanks for being part of this inaugural group of students, and I just look forward to hearing about your successes as you go on into the next step.
With over 245 contact hours and OSHA 10 certification, SkillUp graduated 15 students this February.
I wanted to join the SkillUp program because I wanted to start my career in manufacturing, and I love working with my hands, and it actually didn't cost me anything.
The greatest part of that is able to understand more on machines. So I'm very fascinated to know how parts are made.
Many have already accepted job offers.
There's a huge demand for manufacturing in Connecticut. We need a lot of people, so SkillUp provides us with that need.
Corey Woods with Patrick Boots reporting for Middlesex Moments.
And Tracy, you were saying all of these students got offered jobs?
Absolutely. They have, well, we have an industry, a career fair during the 5-week program or during the 7-week program, and where, even virtual, we've been able to introduce the last go around we had, in collaboration with Gateway Community College, who is also running SkillUp. We had a combined career fair where we had 17 employers speak with the graduates or the soon-to-be graduates for both Gateway and Middlesex Community College, bringing the industry partners right directly to the students so that we have that instant or as soon as possible placement.
Okay, great. And I know Asi and his company have been great partners in SkillUp throughout. And what have you found from the graduates of this program? Have you been able to put them straight into work and help bring them along in their careers at Hobson Motzer?
Definitely. So this program has been around for over 2 years now, and I think next week or the week after, the number 17 cohort is going, and we've been a partner since day one. It started in Gateway in our region, and we've seen this program getting better and better. And I'll tell you, I'll speak for our supervisors. They called me and said, can you get me more SkillUp people? And for me, that's an attestament for the success of the program. So there's a better job doing screening the right people in there, people that truly have an interest to go in manufacturing. They truly understand what it means to have a career in manufacturing. The program itself designed to, it's not bringing, educating people completely to what they need. There's still a lot to learn, but it gives them foundational knowledge of what's involved in manufacturing. Some lathe and milling, hands-on experiences, understanding hand tools and measurement devices. They do the OSHA 10 that mentioned before, but they also, broaden their understanding of quality, Six Sigma. So they get a lean yellow belt certification as part of the program. They learning how to read a blueprint and understand, how to read the map before you can start walking and starting the journey. And those are important things. Most of all, they work together as a team. And they come ready with that understanding that, it's a team effort. We need team players. We need people that can actually work together and make things happen. And from that perspective, it's been great. I can tell from these 2 cohorts, so far, we hired 4 people. We're very blessed. Maybe there's 2 or 3 more. We're still hoping to get a couple more. Overall, since the beginning of the program, we hired over 20 people. And I wish I could say 100% of them are growing in manufacturing. We lost few along the way, but it's okay. But I'll tell you, a good portion of those people already are promoted. And we have 2 that moved into a tech position, which is, it's great. In less than 6 months, in less than a year, they moved up and they're on this path to having a career. And that for me is a great success, a great testament to the success of the program. We have Paul and others that educate in this, they're doing a terrific job, and we're very happy and thankful for that.
That's great. And Jeff, the whole idea of teamwork, the Middlesex County Chamber has really been helpful in connecting the dots so all the partners as organizations, schools, businesses can come together as that big team, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. This is a multi-stakeholder effort right here, from the private sector, outstanding companies, leadership from our manufacturing leaders, the public sector. There's a recognition in this state that manufacturing is of critical importance, and the nonprofit sector, our educational sector. Everybody's on board, and we're looking to support this industry moving forward.
Okay, great. And real quick, Tracy, student wants to sign up for Gear Up. How do they find us?
So if they want to sign up for SkillUp, they can go to the Middlesex website. It is under Workforce Development. There's a link there, and it will bring you directly to the application page. You can also go on the website. My information is there as well. And you're welcome to reach out to me directly if you have questions.
Yeah. Apologies, we do have a different program
We do.
called Gear Up. That's another show.
Yes.
We'll be back.
So SkillUp it is.
Okay. Well, I want to thank my guests, Tracy Ariel, Jeff Puglise, Asi Carmeli, for being with me here today. And I want to thank all of you for watching Middlesex Moments this month. And we invite you to visit Middlesex Community College at our main campus here in Middletown, 100 Training Hill Road up the hill. Please visit us to learn more about the college and what we have to offer. You can also visit us at our Meriden Center located at Platt High School, where we offer afternoon and evening classes 4 days a week. And certainly visit us online 24/7 at mxcc.edu. On behalf of my guests and everybody at Middlesex Community College and the students in our TV production class, I'm Steve Minkler, and we'll see you next week.
All right.